Welcome back to our continuing series of Fishing Without Bait, where we continue our conversation with the delightful Rubina. So, I think it's time to talk about the abracadabra deal. So, when you think of abracadabra, what comes to your mind, Rubina?
Magic.
Magic, making something happen. So, it's a real word. It's Aramaic, and it comes from the Bible's Jesus time. And roughly what it translates into, I speak what I create what I speak. The cool kids call it manifestation and vision boards, but it's been around forever. 80% of cognitive behavioral therapy is about changing the language in the way you speak to yourself. So, how do you help people learn how to speak to themselves?
So it's really interesting. That's a great question. I really do feel that we do live in magic. Um, and that what we do speak does create a vibration around us. We can see it in the simple situation of like somebody's angry or irritated. It may not even be in the same space we're in. We're driving and there's traffic and someone's agitated and that kind of jumps into you. So the effect of that more, energy is something that's constantly moving around. We have access to it and we have choices. Do I want this energy? Do I want to not be part of it? Right? Or does it come in me and I can't even I always tell this to my teenager too. If we can't control what's affecting us up here, we won't be able to control the rest of everything else that we want to have in our life. It's really important. That's our entry point. We take in our thoughts, just like that saying goes, our thoughts become our words become our actions. It does happen this way. And so I think that's, really something is just seeing words, like you said, manifestation, thoughts, all of these are very powerful and how we have access to that energy. And we have to be clear. We have to be present to know this is something that I want to go this way. I want to steer this way, or I don't. I want to steer away from something.
Well, if we're mindful of the words we speak, if we choose, the Buddhists have three filters that a word can pass through, Rabina, before it leaves their mouth. Is it true? Is it kind? But most importantly, is it necessary? If people followed those filters of mindfulness about words, how much trouble do you think would be saved in the world and in relationships?
Oh boy, definitely. Especially we can see all around us. I think people were trained with this. Maybe they were slower. Maybe we were naturally more mindful in in past eras. But you can see now things go so fast, and people of all kinds of power just say things and don't realize the impact it has on themselves and other people and create chaos and turmoil. It's unnecessary, right? Unnecessary.
So, what do most people, when they contact you, what do they present with? What are they looking for you to assist them with?
So I have a couple of different, programs, I guess, that I offer. And one of them actually talking about maybe manifestation or understanding energy is I use human design a lot. For myself, I've used it before as a self-guidance tool, or it's a life coaching tool, understanding who I am and how I'm designed to make decisions and choices. And I think a lot of people will come to me. They want to understand their own mechanism, their own mind, their own energetics. How do they make choices? How should they go around? That's the best way to live by their own inner authority, following their own strategy that's more unique. And so it's very individualized in programs. And sometimes it's just, I'm so stressed and I just want peace. And they see that.
Mm.
A lot of people are like, you've had crazy stuff in your life, Rubina. How do you look so peaceful? And I have a secret. I have a secret. These are my practices. And why do I say practices? Because if you look at any sports team, they don't just go and show up on the field and win their game. They are constantly practicing. I think probably 90% of the time they're practicing for that game, right? That's their performance. And so our practices is all the time, every day, all moments of the day, any moment, so that when the challenge comes, hopefully, right, we can hit the ball out of the park. because then we know, oh, here comes this challenge. I'm equipped. I can handle it. Right? It's just kind of like that.
So what you're talking about is being proactive. I always use in fact, I have a t-shirt that says, Smokey the Bear says only you can prevent forest fires. So the idea is about being proactive to avoid forest fires.
Yes. All disasters, all problems, big or small, right? Any challenge you can avoid from it getting worse. You can't
What's
prevent it, but you can handle it.
Well, we can perhaps decrease the impact of it. Nobody plans for a bee sting. So, what's usually one of the first things that you do to suggest to help a person who wants to deal with anxiety, deal with stress?
Yeah, it's like you said, you can't avoid the bee sting. What's the pain? What is, let's look at that. Let's assess, where is this coming? And how can we can't really avoid it, mitigate it, but we can alleviate some of that pain, right? Just like a dressing on a wound, ointment, or whatever it might be. It's you've already gone through the stresses, and now how do we manage? What's the right match for each person? Some people don't feel comfortable, maybe closing their eyes to meditate. Some people need active meditation. So it's a unique journey to discover and try together with some hand holding, different kinds of breath. Everything is not always available to us all the time, right? It's not like a cookie cutter.
So, what type of techniques do you help people when they tell you that they can't stop the space between thoughts for a moment, or they get so distracted after moments that what type of instructions, what type of visual or tangential type of experiences do you give them to try to help them?
So a lot of people can come with having, and I'm trauma informed. So a lot of people will come and they've faced something, and it just means that their body or their mind is not able to let it go and move, in the present moment. Some part of them is stuck in that situation. So all kinds of breath work or movement or meditation may not be accessible to them all the time, but it's accessible to them at some point or the other. Does that make sense? Like,
Of course. We call
they may be able to do that breath work in a week, but not there yet.
we
So
call
just
that unfinished business.
unfinished business. Yes, yes,
Everybody has unfinished business, Rubina.
yes, yeah. We don't have access to it, right? Access to all parts of ourselves.
Well, yeah,
So
the unfinished business is floating around in our unconscious mind. We have a conscious mind, and it's like the tip of an iceberg. The Everything that underneath is your unconscious mind, and it wasn't the top of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. So your subconscious mind communicates with your conscious mind through dreams and imagination. And you're talking about creativity. You're talking about have some daydreams, have these type of things. And what you're doing is you're helping people connect with their conscious mind.
yeah, yeah. So the first thing we will do is try to assess what seems safe and available, accessible to you right now. And it may not be drawing, because sometimes people come in front of a sketchbook and, a nice drawing pen, it's very intimidating. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to create something. You would think torturing them, right? So maybe just writing a few words. Let's start to see the flow of writing, right? And there's something to that. And they talk about how we're losing access to that. We're on digital devices with our thumb typing, not even like full keyboards a lot of times. So we're not having access to our brain, to all of our, neural connections. So just getting the paper and pen, and I always promise I'm not going to look at what you wrote. It's not a matter of that. It's going through the different processes. So all of the practices are about processing. And so if we're not ready to do deep breathing, we may not have access to it yet. Maybe movement doesn't feel like the right match. Our mind cannot slow down to meditate. So let's maybe just put all those thoughts. Let's see if we can catch every single thought, try to put a situation to rewire what's going on. to get us to this present moment, sometimes we have to stop that train that's going so fast and we got to slow it down. It doesn't come right to a halt going really fast, right? We can't stop our cars or any vehicle.
I
So
like
in
the
some ways,
rewiring. I like the rewiring. So you mentioned in your website you help people reset. So could you tell us some of the methods you use to reset?
yeah. So my creative reset is exactly that. It's doing breath work, a little entry point of breath work, just noticing first instead of we start making counts of breath work and it can be overwhelming. Just noticing what's happening with the breath and attuning with it, and then having a little meditation, a little mindful experience, a guided meditation to get quiet, which also maybe we're not ready for that. But a reset takes a while to slow down everything and then having some creative expression, whether it's drawing, writing, painting, whatever it might be, maybe dancing, um, whatever a person feels comfortable with, and then coming back to that breath again and meditation and seeing, and repeatedly. It can be a workshop that I've done before for 60 minutes to 90 minutes, and people are always like, I need a little bit more. So I have one that's over a weekend, a few hours
Oh, okay.
each day. So we do some mindful movement, some conscious breathing, some meditation, and then the reset is really putting something out there that's outside of our body. Drawing like a child even, just doodling, just getting something going and expression. And I always tell my participants, we're not going to create our masterpiece here. I'm not going to look at it. And sometimes I'll get this, oh my gosh, I think I just created my masterpiece. Fabulous. Right? Because the relief came. Yeah.
Do you have in-person classes? Do you do a lot of this like we're talking by magic?
Yeah. Yes, I do by magic online and in person.
What do you
All
find more
options.
effective, Rabina?
I do like in person. Again, I feel like there's that energy exchange. People are not behind the screen. We can kind of, disconnect, start wandering off in our mind and getting distracted. Whereas if you're in a place where you're on a retreat, in a workshop, there's no options of things to come in. Or at least I'll say I'm trying to create that experience of the environment where you're not getting other things distracting.
Okay. So if let's say that if I had a patient and if they viewed this podcast and they say, gee, I'd like to meet Rabina, how would they do that?
So I am in LA. I do see local clients in LA. I do plan to have some traveling retreats. Probably end of the summer there'll be a couple of them. But yeah, so if they would have to find, the timing and whatnot. I do.
Would you consider teletherapy, Zoom?
Yes, I do have a lot of clients that I meet over Zoom. I have one, in fact, that comes down from the Bay Area once a month because they really want to have the in-person as well. So we'll do several through the month, and then they'll come down here once when they're maybe doing some work. So, Northern California, Southern California, it's not too hard of a commute, and then we will do in-person sessions as
Okay,
well.
so if a person did want to do some Zoom, some magic sessions with you, how would they contact you, Verbena?
Yeah, they can reach me on my website, theinnerdesign.com. I'm very active on social media. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Instagram is the official Rubina. Also, my business is on there, theinnerdesign.com, again, on Instagram. And I personally read all my messages. So it's not like I have a bot answering for things.
I always talk to people and they say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But then I don't want to burst their balloon, but then I say, okay, what do you do to put gas in a car? We still have to have, we can have our head in the clouds, but unfortunately, we have to have our feet on the ground, Rabina.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you get that across to people?
It takes action. If they want to see results, it takes the effort, it takes practice, commitment. They're not doing it alone. We're going to do that together and slowly and definitely little and often. So we start off small, little things that are, you're able to do. So like you said, for example, how do you put gas in the car? Well, first you got to get the key. We'll find the key and then go down to the garage and then open the garage
Okay,
in the car.
what do you like to do for fun? What gives you joy, Rubina?
This really gives me joy. Really, Jim. This is what I do for fun. And it's taken me, I would say maybe half my life I've been wanting to do this. And I finally put gas in the car and said, I'm gonna do this.
That's great. I'm glad you made a choice.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, Rubina, you're absolutely delightful. And usually, what we do is maybe sometime in the future, we'll be getting back in touch with you to update your life, and we'll try to put whatever products you have out there to try to get a platform for you.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
So, do you have a message to our viewers?
Yeah, I'll say what I said in the middle of our talk. Creativity is part of our life. We're creating our life. Actually, we're creating it either by default or by design, right? So if you want to really design your life, it's in your hands to put some kind of creative spin, whatever it might be that excites you, to make your own life, your own path, and be in joy.
I like that. I like your enthusiasm. It even comes across all these miles, and here we are sitting in a very hot and steamy Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, I hope you stay nice and cool. It's been really lovely. Even
Well,
all these
that's one of God's greatest inventions, Rabina, was air conditioning.
That's it.
So we'll do that. So please don't make yourself a stranger. The door's always open and the light's always on for you here.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
So at the end of every podcast, Rubina, what we do is we offer a free prescription: fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Unplug your television and take up fishing. And for a truly mindful experience, we suggest that you fish without bait. Do a kindness for yourself and do a kindness for another. Forgive yourself and forgive another. If we're all not the divine's children, none of us are. Till all are free, none are free. Namaste, my friends.
Please check out our website at fishingwithoutbait.com, where you can listen to the show, comment on our discussions, and find out where you can subscribe to our podcast. If you're interested in flying the colors of Fishing Without Bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.